Good morning, America. How are ya? We'll be 500 miles before the day is done. They call me the City of New Orleans. Hi, I'm Denny Jelsma, and I'm at the world-famous Jacksonville Terminal Railroad Museum in beautiful Jacksonville, Florida. Today is Monday, and you know what we do on Monday? Yes, you guessed it. It's show and tell, and show and tell starts right now.
Hi, I'm Greg Turn. Just wanted to do something a little different this time. I know many times you've seen where we've just been running trains. We also have several areas where we can do switching. And I wanted to talk about one of them. This is the Eastport area. Just to set the stage, there's a 2-track yard in the front, Eastport yard. Cars are delivered here by through freights and picked up by through freights. There are 3 industries in this area on the back. There's a pulpwood siding is the first one. The pulpwood siding is sometimes used as a steam track if there's no pulpwood. We've parked a tank car of road tar here for the local road crew on once or twice. At one time they even showed a box car up here. Rumor had it that the feds had staked out this box car because they were waiting for the local moonshiner to pick up his carload of gallon jugs. Whether that's the truth or not, I don't know, but that was the rumor. The other 2 industries we have are a factory that makes wooden crates for the citrus industry. That industry receives box cars of lumber. And then the 3rd industry is a grocery food distributor. One of the things about the grocery distributor, they receive box cars and refrigerator cars. Okay. Because of where they have their equipment, they always want the refrigerator cars spotted at dock A. If they have two refrigerator cars, we will spot them at A and B, and then C and D. At B, if there's only one or no reefers, we'll get the box cars. Now the other thing is, notice there are 2 tracks for the box plant and the grocery distributor, so you can stack cars and then they would be unloaded using plates between the cars. So in this case, our Silver Meteor car would be being unloaded directly through the car on the first track. However, there's not enough room to open the doors on the refrigerator cars, so you can't have 2 refrigerator cars and unload the second one through the first one. You also would not want to unload, well, you can't also unload a box car through a refrigerator car. So if you had 3 refrigerator cars, you'd have to do some switching after they had unloaded one. Now what we're going to do today is we are going to switch out the cars that are in the pulpwood line, cars that are at the food distributor, and we're going to spot these cars using the Seaboard Jeep that is regularly assigned to this area. Now,
Number 2, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
When you and the museum, when we do our switching, do we just do that one day, or do we do it in conjunction with our running days?
Most of the time, well, we sometimes do it both ways, but very often we do it in conjunction with a running day. In fact, just coming up is a through freight, which as anytime you're doing switching on the main line, it becomes vitally important that the local switchmen are aware of when the freights are coming or the passenger trains, that they clear the main before it gets here, and that they're very careful to line the switches properly so that they don't have the mainline train going through the yard very unexpectedly. So one of the things I'm going to have to be doing is making sure that I know when this train is coming so that I can clear the area.
So our dispatcher will notify you when that happens.
Well, if this is a scheduled freight, I should have a reasonable idea of when he's going to be here. Okay?
Okay.
And so I'll start. Okay? Now, okay, what I have here is our switch list. This tells me which cars go where. And it tells me that this refrigerator car has to go to the food distributor, and again, door A. Then the Louisiana and Arkansas and the 2 Seaboard cars also go to the food distributor, but the Pennsylvania car goes to the box factory, and obviously the 2 pulpwood racks go to the pulpwood car. What that's going to mean is one thing we're going to have to do is do a little changing around to get the cut of cars to go over in the correct order. So we'll have to do that in the yard. So the first thing I'm going to do is pull the cars from the food distributor, set them over on the second track to clear that first track. Then we'll go in, we'll get the pulpwood car, we'll bring that around, spot the other 2 pulpwood cars, switch this in the yard to get this in the right order, bring that cut over, bring the cars that are going out back, and then finally set these 5 cars where they need to be.
All in the oncoming traffic that you got to dodge.
Yes, and again, we have to be aware of the through freight to make sure that we don't stab them. That would get us in a great deal of trouble.
Okay, so now you're lining your switches.
Yep, so now I'm lining my switches, and we will...
Now I understand that this Seaboard is assigned to this area, correct?
Yeah, yes, this locomotive is permanently assigned to Eastport to do the switching. So, like I said, the first thing we're going to do is clear these. And we have to clear these first because there's not enough room to spot the 2 pulpwood cars if these are in the way. There's not enough room between the switch. So now we will...
Has the dispatcher notified you on any trains coming yet?
No, nope, haven't heard anything yet.
Now, number 2, what do you like doing best? Do you like the switching that you're doing here?
I personally do. I know there are some people here really like to run mainline trains and watch them. I do that too, and that's interesting to do. But for me personally, after I've gone around about 3 times with the same train, it gets a little.
So you like the switching, and and I know I watch you, and you do a very good job. And I'm always amazed that how you are able to dodge all the traffic, and but then that was real life.
Yes, it was. And one of the things that I like is, obviously, we've talked about Rodney having worked for the FEC, and he helps me to learn how to do these in a more prototypical manner.
Yes, I know. I watched him. I'm just amazed. And I always thought, well, that was, you know, just a regular job. But I know I couldn't do the things that he does switching. And I'm just really amazed of the knowledge that you need to know about the railroad.
Yeah, and that's...
I see you use a stick.
Yeah, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. We're on a curve right now, and that makes it difficult to get to get everything coupled, because the couplers don't match up, and it sticks to get the couplers to line up.
All right, we got the pulpwood car.
Yeah, after all, the real railroads, you just kick them over. They didn't have centering springs. Now I'm noticing that I've got my freight coming, so I'm gonna have to wait now until they get past. And now we will come out with the pulpwood load.
Now the area that you're switching here is prototypical of the Eastport. Am I correct there?
Well, Rodney designed it, so it is obviously much smaller than the Eastport area, but there was an Eastport yard, and it did serve several industries in that area.
Now, sometimes I watch you switch. There'll be two of you.
Depending upon well, how many people are here and how intricate the switching is. Sometimes we use a two-person crew. Sometimes we just use one. You know, right now it's just you and me, so we have a one-person. Notice that there was a load on the car we picked up. These two are empty. Most of the pulpwood cars that we have either a commercial removable load or a scratch built removable load. And what we'll do is, after we spotted these two, maybe in a week or so, I'll load one of them with its load, and depending on when we're planning to do this switching, then we can either pick up that one load and respot the empty, or if it's there long enough, I'll put the second load in and we'll pick up both of cars. Now that we've got the pulpwood, we'll come back to the yard and work on getting our other train in its proper orders. Like I said, we basically got to switch the Pennsylvania car and the Louisiana and Arkansas car to get them in the order that they need to be according to the switch list.
These cars, number 2, have all Cadies, correct?
Yes, they're all Cadies. That's the only kind of coupler we use here. And one thing that
I don't see any McHenry couplers. We don't use those.
I don't know whether there are any McHenrys or not. There might be on a few of the cars. I'm really not that familiar with it. And one thing I like to do is pretend that I'm the brakeman, or I have a brakeman. So I'll make all the couplings and uncouplings in as close to the same place as I can, just so the poor guy doesn't have to run all around everywhere trying to make our couplings and uncouplings.
I know I watch Rodney Butcher switch with you and other guys, and it's just he tries to explain exactly what they do on the railroad, and I just think that is makes this club just a little unique, because everything we do is
now I
like
notice
the railroad.
Next freight is in. Time to make sure that all the switches are aligned for him.
Oh yeah, we got a train coming.
Yep. And for those of you that saw my video on Baldwin's, notice again we have the Baldwin demonstrators. They're trying to sell Seaboard some more Baldwin cab units, which they were unsuccessful. But I mean, I think that those sharks would have been really neat looking in a Seaboard coloring. Unfortunately, that didn't happen.
Okay, we're raring to go.
Okay. Now, again, whoops. Helps if you turn on the right throttle. Okay.
Takes a lot of work to spot cars, doesn't it?
It does, and in this case, we only had 4 for the food distributor, and we only had 1 for the box manufacturer. There's sometimes when we will have as many as 8 for the for the food distributor, and then you've got to work both tracks, and that takes a lot longer, because then you can spot the inside track, but then you've got to clear the outside track before you can bring over the cars that go there. Okay, now we've got this train, this cut of cars in the right order. We've got the refrigerator car set for dock A. We've got the Pennsylvania box car set for the box manufacturer. And now we'll finish up our switching. I'm going to take a minute and set this coupling in delay mode, simply because
Oh yeah, I see.
with the cars in the front, I'm too short to reach over them. Okay,
Wow, we got it set.
got that set.
Well, thank you very much, Greg Turn. We like to call him number 2. He's a great asset here, and it's one more reason why this layout is world famous. And that's the way it is at the world famous Jacksonville Terminal Railroad Museum in beautiful Jacksonville, Florida.